Hey.
Hey, hey.
Hey.
Okay. Hey, 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 hey. Uh,
Look at
welcome
Smokey.
everybody. Where is he? Oh, he's here?
He's judging us. He turned around when we said, hey, hey, hey. Hi, Smokey.
Dang. Okay, relax, dude. He's giving me the dirtiest look right
He is,
now.
eh?
Oh, okay, fine. Yeah. Smokey's been going, I think he's just getting older too. He's getting like a little sassier. I don't know. He's a weirdo. But anyway, welcome everybody to Of the Publishing Persuasion. I'm Angela Montoya, along here with Melanie Schubert. Melanie, how are you?
I'm good. I feel as like I
Good.
still sound pretty nasally, but feeling better. Feeling healed from my
Good.
flu. Feeling like, I don't know, stubbornly positive or something this
I
week.
love that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think
Yes, I have my candles lit for you.
oh, you, I feel the energy. Ooh, yeah. I don't know. I feel yeah. Probably that's part of why I feel like strangely extra positive. I won't reveal anything about that yet, because I just sometimes it's just for you, you know? Sometimes you
Yeah,
do something and
sure.
you just want to bathe in that little moment yourself. You know what
Yes,
I mean?
bathe in it. Yes, bathe in the glory. Yes.
Yeah, it feels like a little bit of a new a new little exciting lifeline. So we'll see what
Yes.
happens with that.
Yes, new horizons to gaze upon.
Yes.
I love
How are
that.
you?
I'm excited. I'm good. Yeah, good. I it's funny because so today my agent sent our pitch
Oh yeah?
to my editor. Um, it was a pass on the pitch, but I still have ideas,
Hmm.
so we're going to see what is on the horizon for
Yeah.
me as well. So maybe onto something bigger. Who knows? So yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we're going with. That was the thing I got today. But um yeah, it's funny because and Ines was talking about this, like you have your mind set on something and the thing that you think is going to be the thing, and then it doesn't
Mm.
become the thing, and then you're like, "Oh wait, maybe that's because something else is coming that's better." And so again, we talk about this all the time, the art of the pivot
Yeah.
and kind of figuring out what that means. So we shall see what the hell we're doing next.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see.
Well, I'm sorry
I'm
about the
kind of excited.
past, but I'm kind of like, actually, I was going to ask you because we talk a lot about in this episode with Inez, we talk about like keeping our positivity alive, which is probably why I started with feeling stubbornly positive.
Yes.
How is it for you? Like how I feel like you're another person who's able to find the positive a lot of times, even when things are tough. And even now, you just told me you got a rejection and you were able to immediately spin it and like look for the
Yeah.
positive. And it's something I really admire about you. And yeah, like how is it for you on your end, picking yourself up from, something that would crumple other people? And I'm sure it has its moments of that for you, but I just know you're also like a master at switching up your energy. How do you do that?
Yes. I am a master. No, I felt the like I felt it in my stomach when I
Yeah.
saw my agent's email, like not some not so great news, and I was like, ah, dang it.
Mm.
Um, but again, I maybe this is kind of annoying to some people, but I really and truly think of like at the end of the day, things in your world could be so much bigger and worse
Mm.
than just a pass on a story. Um, so like I always kind of just ground myself in reality of remembering like, okay, girl, like, yeah, you're allowed to feel sad. However, there are people that are going through like
Yeah.
horrendous things. So it's like, can you really be that? Like, yes, you can be that sad, but it could be so much like more real life worse, if that
Yeah.
makes
Oh
sense.
yeah. I
I
don't
was just
find
kind
this
of like,
annoying at all I don't find this
okay,
annoying at all. Like I find it liberating to talk about it because honestly I do the same thing sometimes when I'm really low. I use that to reframe like it's not the end of your world, dude. Like it's you know, have a fucking croissant or something and just keep going. Give yourself a little treat and reminding myself the perspective of, yeah, like we get to do that. We get to keep going
yes.
and what a gift that is. So no, I appreciate all these things that we don't always share, you know? Like
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's true. I think at the end of the day, like, I'm still so privileged to be able to have the space to be like, okay, well, if that doesn't work, let me try something else. And I understand that there are people that do not have that privilege
hmm,
and that like you have to sell a story to make your rent or to pay the bills. Obviously, yes, I have bills to pay and all that stuff, but like, but again, like I come like I have a whole different like situation where
yeah.
it's like, okay, I have money I've saved from my other books, like I can hold off and like try to do a different pitch, and so like
Mm,
at the end of the day, like I'm always like, oh, I'm fine.
yeah.
And I just think, just like in, yeah, again, you look at the world around you and you're just like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
And but everything I understand does feel so big when you're in it. And again, I did really and truly feel that gut punch, but then I was just like, but what about this fun idea I've been like stewing on for the last like few months? Maybe that's the thing I was supposed to be doing the whole time. Like maybe the universe is just shifting and like, no bitch, like let's try something else first. And then we'll get to the thing. Cause it doesn't mean it's
Mm,
a no forever. It's just a pass for like Joy Revolution. It doesn't mean I can't ever write this book. So
yeah.
we'll try something new and then we'll go from there. But yeah. My candles are still lit though.
The candles are lit.
My candles are lit for my friends and for magic in the air, you
And
know?
for Jingle These Bells, I
Oh,
hung bells
yes.
on my earrings so that everyone will hear this. And I bought a bag. These are the bells I sewed on the sweater I did for the Kerry photo shoot. Like a bag of like 100 bells. So I am optimizing my bells just to remind everyone. So the candle is lit for Jingle These Bells, raging rabid success, which is
Hell yes.
well, it was funny. I was looking up some editors the other day and I saw, which surprised me, a publishing house, like a big five one. And they specifically mentioned in their adult section that they were looking for spicy stories. And it surprised me. I was like, wow, the demand has become that big. I've never seen like a because before I got agented, I would always look up the Aussie pub houses and like just kind of see what they were looking for. A lot of times they didn't want fantasy at all. And let alone, I don't think I've ever seen spicy in their what they're looking for. And I was like, that's very interesting. That is very, very interesting as two editors of a spicy anthology that's about to be released, that the demand is big enough. Because that's how I translated it when I saw it. I was like, oh, the demand is big enough that the big five want to expand. I mean,
Oh, I like the way you thought.
it was one publisher that said it, but still.
Hey, but that's still something though. We're gonna take it. We're gonna take it and run.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh
Like, I
my
just
gosh.
think, as I've said before many times on the podcast, I used to be an extremely negative person, and I would always, like, you wouldn't recognize how I would, like, always look for the worst case scenario and everything, and, like, always predict that it wouldn't happen. It was a self-defense mechanism because I felt safe in that way of thinking, I think, because
Mm.
you prepare yourself for, and it's not to say I don't still try prepare myself for worst case scenario. I do. I just don't manifest worst case scenario. And this is where like I feel like it's for me manifestation and all of that is all those little micro movements we make towards something. And I really do believe that you become what you tell yourself you are, you know, like the more you tell yourself something, the more you say something, you kind of predict that. And when I was like such a negative person, I do feel like I would just follow that train of what I believed was going to happen. Whereas making the shift to trying to be a more positive person and looking for the good in things, I think it's equally like my point, all of this was to say that like maybe it's Delulu trying to be positive about situations that feel shit, and I'm sure you feel this way sometimes. I mean, I shouldn't put words in your mouth, but I know we're similarly wired in this way that sometimes we're like, should I be this positive? Like, or was it safer to be negative or something like that? But I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I came to the point where I just got bored of being negative, and I was like, well, look, there it happens. And I found that with enough rabid positivity, you really can change the energy in your world around you and slowly begin to manifest. For me, like, yeah, like I didn't necessarily, like I'm basically an atheist. So, but for me, the science of it is just as true, like it does, I really think you can manifest your your Delulu dreams.
Yes. Hell yes. I think it's the only way to do it. I think it's the
Yeah.
only way to survive and to exist is like just to believe in it and to know that it's coming and like you're
Mm.
doing the steps to get there. If you're believing it, you're already like, okay, I am an author. I'm gonna be published. So I'm already taking these steps. I've started a podcast. I'm building a community.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
doing these things. So like when your mindset shifts, you automatically like step into that lane of like I am there, and so you're
Mm.
already starting to build those steps. And yes, so be Delulu and dream it and manifest it and try to stay positive about all the things, because I think like you said it gets boring being stuck in the negative, and it gets lonely and it gets tiresome too of just
Yeah,
like always feeling down on yourself. Like, fuck, we got to believe in ourselves the most because we're stuck in these bodies. Like, we better
that's
believe in
it.
ourselves.
And I think I began to see the effect that it had on my fellow person. And I always gravitated towards, when I was younger, I gravitated so hard to like the positive people because you want that. You want to believe more is possible. You want to believe better is possible, kinder is possible. But my energy was I would like offer up all my pain and anguish and like, but this, what about this? What about this? And once I became more self-aware and started to realize how that negative energy would drive away those people, I
Mm,
began to realize that everyone was struggling with that and that some people make a very hard choice to offer positivity anyway, because that positivity ignites other positivity and hopefulness. And like if you walk into a room, or if like we started the podcast and every time I was like, yeah, I don't know. It's probably not going to happen, fucking publishing. It would
right.
collectively our energy would start to diminish. But I do feel like when we shine that to each other, a little bit of like, girl, you fucking got this, and you really do collectively raise the energy of each other, of humanity, be it a drop in the
Yes.
bucket, but as the
Period.
saying goes, a
Well,
single grain can tip the scale.
I love that. Well, and look at you. I mean, the things you talk about have been able to inspire our guest Ines into like just listeners, you're gonna hear her, and if you watch the video, you're gonna see her. Like there is this like peace that just like oozes from her pores, and a lot of that is thanks to you and what you're sharing. I know we gotta cut short
I
because I have
know.
to go,
That's
but
okay.
I'm so glad that we had Ines on because it was just a great reminder of everything that you've been telling us for years, to like to be in your body and to meditate and to like find that peace. So thank you, Melanie.
Oh
We've
my
all been
God.
inspired, but I think we should
Yes,
read
read the bio.
Ines'
I can even
bio.
do it if you have to fly. I can read it and close
Okay.
the intro. So feel free to
Okay.
go if you, because I have to find it.
All
Do
right,
you want to go?
perfect. Yeah, if
Yeah,
that's
yeah, go
okay.
fly, baby. I'll
All
read it
right.
and just pretend you're still here.
Okay. Yeah, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye. So, Angela has had to fly to pick up her children. So, here I am. So today we're so lucky to have our amazing friend Inez on. Um, yeah, Inez has just been with us from the start, and we're so grateful for all her support. So, yeah, here is her bio. Ines Ayala is a children's book writer who crafts voicy and immersive teen novels and heartwarming picture books. A lifelong storyteller and self-proclaimed comma abuser, she was longlisted for the 2020 Voyage YA Literary Magazine short story contest for young adult contemporary fiction. Passionate about diverse representation in children's literature, she balances her writing with roles as regional marketing manager for a K-12 curriculum publisher and communications manager for the Latinx Kidlit Book Festival. Her love for words led her to a marketing degree in 2019, but stories have always been her true calling. You can also find her work in Parents Magazine, where she turns moments of personal growth into, hopefully, helpful anecdotes for parents. Born and raised on Long Island, she lives there with her daughter and their dog, Rocky, affectionately nicknamed Polo for his irrational fears, including his own shadow, and his undying love for anything chicken related. Follow her on Instagram and Blue Sky at by Ines Ayala, or subscribe to her Substack for inspiration for your own writing journey. So yeah, we we bloody love Inez. We're so grateful that we finally got to have her on for this episode. And yeah, here she is with her beautiful wise words that I know is going to inspire your writing journeys. Hello!
Hi. Oh my God. I
Hello.
can't believe this is real.
It's
I
really good.
know. Oh my gosh, I love your background, like, or I guess your house, I should say.
Yeah, the office and my dog just opened the door all on his own. So just awesome.
I thought it was a ghost. I prefer a dog. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
You're just looking for ghosts, Angela.
At
Oh
this
my
point,
God.
yes. Ah.
Oh
Oh my
my
God.
God.
Yeah.
We're so excited to have you on. I I feel like it's so overdue. We're so ready. And honestly, you've been just like I feel like you've been like our biggest fan from the start. And I was just saying to Angela the other day, like, I'll never forget like how rabidly like supportive you were. Like sometimes it was just you boosting or liking the post and it meant the bloody world to us. So yeah, we're just excited to have you here. Oh my God, your hair looks amazing also.
Oh, thank you. I brought out the curls for y'all because I have my hair tie and it's gonna go right up right after we're done. So it's strictly for you.
Aw.
But
Yes.
you guys too. I if I boosted you guys, it's because you guys have boosted me. So 100%, all that love is absolutely genuine because you both have gotten me through some really tough times. Yeah.
Aw. Melanie's got hearts. Did you see that, Ines?
Every now and
Yeah,
then
I don't know
it
if
works.
mine
I didn't
does
look
it.
at it.
Yeah, it's the she's got the update, I guess.
Uh, yeah, okay.
You have
Not
to do
me.
it for longer. It happened by chance one day, and then I tried it again and it didn't work. For the listeners who are just listening, every now and then when I cup my hands into a heart, it blows hearts up on the screen, which felt correct.
You should do the thumbs up. I believe that one brings up like a little thumb up emoji sometimes too. And then like if you do this, like the birthday thing. So it's
Okay.
supposed to
It's
work.
just
Otherwise,
me
right,
with
you just
my thumb up.
Well, it looks good. Either way, the cool thumbs up, giving you the praise. Yes, we love it. Oh my gosh. Yes. No, we are super, super excited to have you on, Ines, honestly, because it just feels like it's just girl time. We're just chatting this episode, which I think we could all use is just like a good time to yap. And honestly, I'm excited for our listeners who don't know you, which they
Mm,
should, to get to know you, really and truly, because you are such an amazing, beautiful, kind soul. So, and I do want to brag about you a little bit because I have read some of your work. And not only is Ines beautiful and smart and supportive, but she can write one hell of a story. It's still one of my favorite young adult, like contemporary stories I've read. So
wow.
I have my candles lit in the back because I'm manifesting for everybody here. Which I think is going to be a great episode because I
mm,
feel like this is the perfect time to talk about, like queering and being on submission and kind of like all that goes on with
Yeah.
that. Because I think we learn so much about queering, but we never really talk about like what happens after.
Mm.
And, like so often we think, okay, once I get the agent, I'm good. Like I'm
Mm.
done.
Mhm.
But really it's like once you get the agent, the real stuff starts. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into that with all three of us. Let's just yap and complain and cry and feel
Yeah.
joyful and hopeful and all the things.
100%. I'm excited. I'm excited. This is a little surreal for me, honestly, because I've just seen myself. I think Angela, once you posted a meme of this kid sitting with food, like looking at a poster with like two people, and it's like, yeah, that's me every time I'm watching the show, and me thinking I'm like in conversation with you guys. Like, yeah, it's good to be here.
That's why it
Yeah.
just feels right. You've been in conversation with us all along and we've felt it. And honestly, that's really like the dream for us to hear because that really is how we wanted the podcast to feel. Like you're here chatting with us, part of the conversation, not on the outside of it. So
Just
again,
what
thank you for, being there and just being part of the Pub Persuasion team. I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask you like our generic question because I actually really want to know. What is the strangest thing you own?
Well, I am glad you asked. And it's funny, like I said, I have been manifesting being on this show for like forever. Visualizing, it's always been part of my visualizing process. But I was always stuck on this question because I was
Mm.
like, I am boring. I don't have it. So I went to my trusted source that I go to for lots of these things, my 15-year-old. And I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like, I finally have to ask the answer the question. And she's like, duh, our new puppy, Junie, is the strangest thing you own. And I'm like, you're right. Because okay, so one of the strangest things that she does is when I feed her, and she has like this mix of wet food and kibble, like she'll go to the food, she'll take a bite, and then she does this like a little shimmy backwards, like she's really, and then she'll shimmy back forward. And I'm like, all right, that's adorable. But she takes it to the next level and she gets so excited that I think her vajayjay tingles because then she starts like flipping down there. And then it makes me think of that Cardi B moment. Did you see that red carpet Cardi B moment? She's like at the Grammys and like the person's asking her, so how do you feel? And Cardi B's like, yeah, my vagina's tingling. I'm so excited. And I'm like, that's my Judy, that's my dog. And like it's so strange. Absolutely wild and so new that I forgot to update the bio and include her in there. But yeah, she is absolutely the strangest thing that we own.
a
Oh.
girl after my own heart, you know? I'm
Yeah, it's
I was not expecting this answer and I
No,
don't know
but
how
I'm
to come
living.
back from this.
but it's spot on. I'm like, thank you, Tori, for helping me out because, I don't know what I was gonna pick.
Yep,
The
Tori,
diva
thank you.
dog, little
Yeah.
little diva dog. I bloody love it. And yes, she has to be in the bio. She has to be in the bio
Yeah,
because
I'm
they
gonna go update that when we're done. I forgot.
Yeah. When did you get her? Is she brand new, brand
In
new?
April, in
Okay.
April, so a couple months, but
Oh
you know how
my
that goes. You
God.
forget to update the bio, forget to update all the things. So
Yes, always.
yeah.
I freaking love her.
Mhm.
That is so freaking cute.
Yeah,
And strange, but in the very best way.
she's a
Oh my
cute.
God. That's so freaking funny. Okay, what is something you think about way too often? What's your Roman Empire?
Okay. So when I tell you this, you're probably going to think actually the strangest thing you own is probably your brain. Um, so I watch a lot of period dramas. Like I love movies and shows from like the 1700s, 1800s. I love it, love it all. But when I'm watching them, I'm often looking at them and being like, but they didn't have like skincare the way we do now. And they didn't have like the hygiene thing. So were these women just walking around with like these big ass pores or like, blackheads or like bad breath because maybe they didn't really have toothbrushes the way we do now. And like, did deodorant exist back then? So like as I'm enjoying this movie, I'm sitting here thinking about people's hygiene and like those up close moments where they're like getting ready to kiss each other. And I'm like, did were there blackheads?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna think of a period piece the same again because you were
You're
so right.
correct.
Was it a queen?
Mm.
I'm sorry, I'm not like an expert on this, but she smelled so bad, or maybe it was a king. One of them that
And
smelled
it could
so
have been like Queen
bad.
Elizabeth because of the wigs and stuff, and like
I There was some smelly ass people. back in the day. Now that you mention that, I can only imagine.
Like, what were
And
those
yeah,
moments like? Those intimate moments? Like,
I feel
I don't
like they
know.
had like other habits that we maybe like I feel like corn flour was used as an early deodorant. It would like absorb the sweat.
interesting.
That's one that comes to mind. Just to add to your now when you have your question, you can think of corn flour. I don't know about the pores. I think the pores are just although then again, a lot of people died from like lead poisoning and stuff from makeup. So there must have been some. There must have been some going. Maybe not like out on like Little House on the Prairie or something. There was just sweaty paws.
It's just like the blackheads and stuff, and they didn't have floss, and like I don't know. That's the kind of stuff
Oh,
that my mind goes down on
Mm.
many an
yeah.
ADHD routes. You know.
That's valid. And
Mm.
now my brain is there as well. I feel like I need to like do some research and like really think about these stinky asses that were just out like out
Yeah.
and about. Like I remember people talking about this in the romance community.
Mm.
Like we have these big fantasy stories where they're out in the woods like being chased by goblins or whatever, but yet they have time to have sex or whatever. And
Yeah.
it's like there's stinky asses doing these things, but when you're in the throes of lust and you're about to die, like who cares, like you're just going for it.
And honestly, it doesn't have to be a period piece for me to go there. A lot of times, like when I see a scene where they have the couples kind of waking up in the morning and they're kissing right away and getting into it, I'm like, ugh, like morning breath, like what? Like, and they never, ever, ever show like the brushing of the teeth part. It's just like straight to morning sex. Like, okay.
Okay, this is a good point. I definitely do think of it in like action movies when they've just been like running all day. And I'm just like, the situation down there.
Do we
It's
have
gonna
any
be a
wipes anywhere? Any sanitary wipes? Dipping it into the, you know, quick little wipe and then back to action.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
obsessed with this answer, by the way.
I am too. I feel like this could be you're gonna have to write this into whatever you write next and have that as part of the plot.
Yeah,
Is
Mm.
them figuring out what to do when,
makes sense, right?
you
With
know,
when you write for teens, like a lot of that angst, like I could body odor is a bit that can
that's
definitely
true.
play a
I
role.
always think about periods, like what were they all doing with
Mm,
their periods? Like I know the rags, but
yeah,
like,
and staying in bed, I think all day and whatever.
mm.
I would do that. I could handle that. Like,
I feel like some communities sent their women like to the rivers or something for like the whole
yes.
week. They're like, bye, bitches.
Right, yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I always thought it was like, oh, that's so kind. Like, that's so nice of them to think of the
No.
women. And now that you say bye bitches, it's probably like, get those motherfuckers out
Yeah.
of here. Like, she's been yelling at me since she started
Yeah.
PMSing. Like, go to the river, relax, okay? Like,
Yeah.
get some
I think about
chocolate.
this all the time because people are always like, some people hate the PMS jokes, but I am like very, very spicy. I am very spicy around that hormonal time. The jokes are valid.
Yeah.
I feel it. I feel it.
Yeah. But I'm learning now that actually we've been taught to shame that period, and it's
Mm.
actually our most powerful and intuitive time as women, and we have been taught to be shamed by it, to hate it, to wish it be over, to enjoy menopause or perimenopause. And in reality, that's when we need to be stepping into our power the most.
Mm.
Oh, yes. I'm here for it. Well, and I like even just being friends with Melanie, who's very like open about talking about periods and cramps and all that stuff.
And we should.
And like me, because I have, like two older brothers who growing up, not that
Mm.
they cared, but it was always like, oh, don't talk about that
Yeah.
stuff. Which like now as a mother with a son and a daughter, like it's very open in our household about humans are doing human things.
Yeah.
But I love like just being able to have these conversations, and it's a reminder that this is our bodies, and it is so powerful and a good time to like reflect and just like be in your own body. So I think there's something, yeah, like really magical, a little witchy, which I
Mhm.
am here for.
Yeah.
I'm all about.
It is,
Yes.
and we're made to feel like it's witchy, right? But it's actually
Mm.
our goddesses, our inner goddess.
Mm.
Hell yes. Oh my gosh. Well,
Yeah,
you are
we are owning the witchy for the positive way, not the, burn us at the stake. So
exactly.
this
Yeah.
witch, whatever you
Mm.
want to call it, it's our power.
Yes. Anything feminine always goes right to the negative,
Mm.
Mm.
right? But really our femininity and our who we are, our bodies are so powerful. So I love that you said that. That's
Mhm.
so beautiful.
Go on.
Yes, and that's why you're one of my favorite writers. And that's why I would like to know, like, about you and like your writer journey. Like, was becoming an author like always something you wanted to do?
So, um, I'm realizing now, as I spend more time being silent and still, that when I think back to when I was a kid, the my favorite movies fell into two categories. It was either about a protagonist that's chasing the writing dream to be published, like Little Women, Joe March kind of thing, or taking it back to the 80s with Molly Ringwald and like she wanted to be a newspaper writer, or baseball, one or the other. So, but I didn't know then why those movies were calling to me. I knew why the baseball was because I thought I was going to marry a baseball player one day.
Ah.
Hot.
Know why those other movies called to me, and I didn't practice meditation back then. I didn't have Melanie back then that taught me about meditation. So I just listened here, or I watched what other people were doing. I had an aunt who was a high school guidance counselor and another one that was an ESL teacher. So I tried maybe going that route. And it just basically I went all the way around and ended up back at the journey that I should have been. And it makes you wonder, not in a regret sense, but like if I had been attuned to whatever the universe was, whatever that calling was back then, would have my path been straighter there
Mm.
versus the rounded path, which I still ended up wherever I needed to be. And whatever experiences I had along the way still made me who I am today. But the calling was always there. But making the decision to write a book didn't happen until I got an idea in college. But even 10 years after that is when I first said, you know what, I'm going to give this a shot. And I knew nothing about
Mm.
publishing or how to write a book. I'm just like, I'm going to buy this software and I'm going to write this book and I'm going to figure it out. And this was a long time ago where you would get a book this thick of all the literary agents and what their submission processes are like, there was no query tracker. It was barely a world wide web back then.
Mm.
But I guess it was like 2016 when I finally went to Twitter and I'm like, oh, and I can't even tell you what drew me to Twitter. I know a lot of writers have found themselves building their community at first on Twitter. I don't know how that happened for me, but that was in 2016, like, I don't know, more than a decade from the first time that I had a book
Mm.
idea. And I started growing a community. And then I started feeling it here, where I was like, this is the calling. And now it makes sense why I was always obsessed with those kinds of movies and why I would write little fake articles when I was a kid and I had a fake newspaper and I always got straight A's on papers and I found writing and words easy. Like, why? It was always there, but I was able to hear the message because I thought my way
Mm.
through things and I watched other people versus listening here, you know.
Mm. Yes. It is so different, like being ground. I was just ranting to my brother-in-law about meditation and just like the difference between being able to ground yourself in your body versus like if you are a sensitive overthinker, which a lot of us in this community are, and we tend to like if you don't find a way to escape the like storm of your thoughts, it can consume you. And like for me, meditation really was that like ability to step out of the constant storm. And it's not perfect. Like sometimes life gets busy, sometimes something's happening and you're consumed. But having a tool that's like able to just like, yeah, for me, it's also been like, as you know, such a like lifeline. And just like, I remember the first time I was actually like grounded, present in my own body. And I bawled like a child because I'd spent the first 30, 25, 30 years of my life not just drowning in there, never knowing why. Sometimes I'd feel calm. And you know you can't pick the difference until you're just like, why am I not calm? I'm sitting by the river, but your body is by the river, but your soul and your mind
Mhm.
are in war, are in pain, are in some terrible scenario that you take yourself into it, so you're never by the river, even when you're there physically. So anyway, I knew we'd get ranty. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I love everything you guys are saying. Oh, now, when you decided, like, okay, I want to try this, take us from that to where you are today. Like, did you finish a book and then go, like, start querying? Like, tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, so I think in 2018 was when I finished my first book. So 2016 is when I dived into building community kind of learning. 2018 was when it was finished, and it was a hot mess, 100%. I did not know it at the time, you know. And I remember querying it out, and there was an agent that did not respond, did not reject, but a couple weeks after started following me on Twitter, right? And I was like, oh, and I think from that moment in my mind, and I know we're told not to do that, but I had put this person up as like the dream agent, right? Like as one does, right? And she's phenomenal. Believe me, she's phenomenal. But I realized that everyone serves a purpose in our lives. And had she not done that and continued over the years to send a message here and there of encouragement or liking a tweet here and there or saying, at one point said, don't forget me when you are back out there querying again, like remember me. That is what kept me going during one of the hardest times. I feel like the 2016 through 2019, for many reasons, through 2020 was a hot mess. We all know that, right? So imagine all of that, and at the same time being in the query trenches, it was really, really difficult. But needless to say, I ended up shelving that book way deep back where no one should see it. And I wrote a different one and sent that one back out. And then I had a friend or someone I met refer a different agent as well. So I sent to both of them and a few others. And I received a revise and resubmit, an R&R from both of them. So I was like, all right, so
Wow.
this is different. But I got to step my game up if I'm going to revise this. So by this point, I decided to try Les Musas mentorship. I know that what that is. I've heard. I know Vanessa mentioned it on the last podcast. It's life-changing. So I applied for that, and Angela Velez was my mentor, and we went through. She found the bones of my book, and then together we went through and built it chapter by chapter for those 6 months. And during that period, I learned a lot of what was missing in the books as I had written it. Is I have, I've always been called voicy, or I've always been told you have a great voice, but I had a meandering plot like you would not imagine. It went everywhere and touched everything, right? So Angela helped me rein it in, and by the end of the 6 months, I had a great story, and I polished it up, and I went back out to that agent, the other R&R, and in a wider cast for that first round. And I started getting partials and full requests, right? And it was exciting. And then I did DV Pit. And from there, I got even more like full requests. I think by the end, I had, I think, like around 12 full requests and a couple partials. So it was a totally different experience. Um, then came time for the phone calls, right? So I had Taj McCoy, that is my agent. She reached out to me and set up the call, right? And the other agent still had the book, and I'm sitting on this call with Taj, and I literally felt the world shift under my feet because I had this thing in my mind, and not that anyone else couldn't cut it, right? Like there are so many incredible agents out there, but I had this thing in my mind of like, this is the agent I've been chasing for so many years. Like I need to be chasing that agent, right? But when I was talking with Taj, she understood my career with wishes and dreams. She was able to bring up things in the book, like pinpoint scenes by scenes and talk about the points that made her cry and the things that made her laugh and what she sees and what she envisions. And I felt like that's my person, you know? And I didn't get an offer from the other agent, but it wasn't gutting like the time I got to
Mm.
revise and resubmit. It was more like, yeah, that makes sense. Because as I was evolving as a writer, all that time I was lying to myself, but I was witnessing that her list was evolving and it was looking less and less like something that my book would fit on that list. And I knew it like back here, but I kept ignoring it, kept downplaying it, kept chasing what my mind kept telling me, like, this is the agent. And if you don't get this agent, you're not succeeding. And when I spoke to Taj, I was like, and I talked to Tori afterwards, and we were both like, this is it. Like, I still had people out there with fulls, and I, reached out to them. I told them, I got an offer, can I please get notified in 2 weeks? I think that's pretty standard. But like, I already knew.
Mm.
Mm.
Within a week, I kind of went back, and I don't know if it was in bad form. Nobody replied negatively, but I went back and I said, listen, I know it's only been a week, but I really have made my decision to go with this other agent because we get each other. I'm pretty sure I was much more eloquent than that, but it felt like home. Like Taj feels like home. So
Mm. Oh my
yeah.
God. I love all of that. And I really, really love how, because this is actually so important. And I don't think a lot of us reflect on it. How you're able to reframe the no's, but no at that time that kept you going. Because that's a very familiar experience to me where I would hyperfixate. I'd be like, this agent, oh my God, this is maybe you read their client's book or you read something poetic they said on the internet, but you become convinced that, like, it's this one, they're gonna understand the soul of my work. And yeah, but like realizing and looking back that even those no's, but it carried you through that moment, those nice moments. Because yeah, like the agent following you, and you're like, oh my God, this is it. They want me. They followed me, even though people are like, don't look into agents following you, don't read into it. But how can you not? We hear
And it also
so
matters.
little.
That's still growing your community.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
she's amazing. Um, but everyone that comes into or out of your life, it's for a purpose. And when I do meet her in person one day, I'm still gonna hug the shit out of her
Yeah.
and repeat to her what I've told her, via email and messages, that she carried me through some really hard times.
Wow.
Mm,
Yes, that's powerful.
yeah.
Do you have any advice that you could offer to querying writers?
Oh, invest in yourself.
Mm.
That mentorship is what changed. Like, I don't know how much longer it might have been that I would still be in the query trenches right now, or maybe given up had I not done the mentorship through Las Musas. And there are plenty others. I know the Word has one. I know that there are writers' conferences. Invest in yourself and
Mm,
and take classes, get the books. It makes the difference. Even if you're a public, I could talk about it later when we ask that question, but the Latinx Storytellers Conference, we get not just writers who aren't published or agented, we get published authors and illustrators that come to learn even more or maybe
mm.
make connections and meet new people. So always.
Yes. Well, let's touch on that actually now that we're here. Like, can you tell us a little bit about that? Because you are such a huge part of the community, and particularly the Latinx community. So, can you tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about what you do with that?
Yes, excited to. So there's two parts there. There's the Latinx Kidlit Book Festival, which is a free virtual festival done through YouTube. It takes place every year around Hispanic Heritage Month. And
Mm.
it's really geared towards teachers and librarians to have free content that they can stream into their classrooms or libraries during that time, amplifying everything from, picture books to YA. You've been on some of my favorite panels, Angela, on there. And it's everything from craft sessions with kids to story time for the littles or games that like the one that you participated in. I think it was last year or the year before. And that's been really, really fun. That's a nonprofit that came about around in 2020 when authors and illustrators were having a hard time doing school visits because
Mm.
shutdowns. So, the founders were thinking, how do we continue to amplify the voices and get these creators and books in front of all kids? Because they're not just for Latinx kids, right? It's for everyone. Um, so they created this. And then last year, we launched say we, I'm one of the organizers, but the co-founders are Alex Viacente and Myra Cuevas. They launched the other arm of the LKBF, which is the Latinx Storytellers Conference. Because on one hand, we are amplifying the stories and connecting readers, but what about the pipeline of those stories,
Mm.
right? What about the creators who are marginalized, who um, uh, quite frankly, we all know like they have a harder wall that they hit, right? So what about that side of it? So they created the 2-day basically publishing crash course that takes place at Scholastic headquarters in September. It's 2 days of master classes, breakout sessions, lunch and learns at the publishing houses, where they're meeting editors, agents, asking their questions, getting manuscript consultations, building community. Last year was our first year, and for months after, people kept like posting or saying like, I'm still crying from how much joy we felt at that conference and how much they learned, and the critique groups that formed afterwards. So it feels really powerful to be a part of that. And I started out as just someone who monitored the YouTube chat for the festival way back in 2021, I think, or 2020. And now I'm the communications manager for both sides of it. Just, growing here,
Hell
growing community, growing
yes.
everything. It's been a joy.
Yes. Well, and that's the thing that I feel like is so beautiful about you in particular is like put yourself in this community setting and you build this community like you were talking about with Twitter, and you're inserting yourself in this writerly world. And I know for like Melanie and I, that's why we started the podcast, because I think if we don't have that community, it's so easy to get lost, and it's so easy to fade away out of this author lifestyle, because if we don't have someone that's pulling us back in and checking in on us and loving on us or patting our backs,
Mhm.
it's so easy to give up.
Yeah.
And so I love, love, love that you are a part of so many amazing communities, particular that one. And I see you out there marketing. I see you out there reposting and all the stuff. So you're doing the work, and you're killing it. And I love that. Okay, I want to take it back because I know we're already
I
um,
know.
at 6 minutes. So, but I want to take it back to you and your journey. So, can you tell us a little bit like where you are at right now in your author journey?
Yes. I am on sub. It's been a couple months. I think Melanie and I went on sub roughly around the same
We
week.
did.
Hmm.
Wow.
We held
Um,
each other's hand
and we
like over
did.
cyberspace and jumped in.
And it's been a test of patience.
Yeah.
What one thing I do is I know my agent, she has a spreadsheet that she keeps and she'll update so that we have access and we can see. So I stay away from it. I stay completely away from it. I want no visibility into that, because if it's happening, she ain't putting it on the spreadsheet first. She's calling
Mm.
me, she's texting me, she's flagging me down. Like I'm gonna know. I don't need to be constantly looking on there, and because that's just opening a window for that negative doubt, that imposter syndrome to try to get in there and be like, okay, yeah, this person's rejecting it. This isn't for me, and I'm just not gonna open that door. So yeah, right now I'm on sub and meditating and reading and but I'm on sub with
Mm.
a YA romance, the one that you read, and a picture book too.
Yes.
Yeah, it's only
So
been a couple
good.
months, so and I think Melanie, you were saying it before. It's really slow. It's excruciatingly slow right now. So
Mm.
I'm just going
That's
with the
across the board. Everyone I talk to, it's just, yeah, everything has like doubled and tripled for wait times. And yeah, how do you navigate that? Like, so meditation, I mean,
Mm.
we feel like you're such a positive person, and obviously there's a lot behind that. There always is. How do you keep positive though as the months go on?
Meditation has changed my life.
Mm.
I had always heard of meditation, and when you introduced me to like videos, Melanie, and we did it together, right?
We did
Uh,
it together. I
yeah,
felt your
we DM each
spirit.
other, and like I did day one too. Yay, okay. So I thought it was just to have a moment of peace, a little bit of silence. I thought that's all it was. But as I kept meditating, I found something happening where I was like transcending my body,
Mm.
and I feel this surge of energy through me and around me. And it was just, it felt like love. It felt like peace. It felt like joy. And from there, it just became easier and easier to kind of shut that voice down and use meditation to bring myself to a place of peace and stillness. And then I always found like messages or like yeah, little messages from the universe that I would have missed before had I not learned how to find that silence and stillness. Yeah, meditations have changed my life. If you hadn't, and I'm trying not to get emotional, but if you hadn't, Melanie, introduced me to meditations, I would have missed some of the most important messages that told me to repair my relationship with my dad before he died this year. And I would not have seen that. So yeah, meditations have kept me not going crazy while on sub, but also it has changed me in my life personally. So
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry too.
yeah.
I love you so much, and thank you for sharing that. And yeah, I think it's one of the reasons why I like try to bring it up as often as possible because it was that for me too. It's was a real lifeline in a very stormy brain. And I'm so glad that you were able to find that from it too, because yeah, it's like you feel very empowered, I think, once you can like tap. And it's very different how everyone's journey is different, but if you can find that something that like grounds you and like elevates your soul or something,
Yes.
um it feels very, life gets a little brighter and a little, you feel a little bit more in control or something. But
And
yeah.
you feel it. You feel that energy, that universe energy, the divine energy, whatever it, you feel it and you realize that it's real, and it becomes easier to not try to control everything and not try to think your way through everything, and realize that let it in and let it out, and things just work out. Or you're not going to change anything by panicking or getting pissed off. So yeah.
Mm.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. I think that our listeners are going to need this and love this talk. I'm
Mm.
already feeling inspired to try my meditations again because I really do see it in you, Ines. Like I see this peace and this calm and this power, which I'm really, really inspired by. So I'm so happy for you and to try it myself. I think I'll do it. I think I'll listen to you both
We can
finally.
do it all together. We can do the
I was gonna say
accountability
that.
one.
We're
Yeah.
gonna have to, I think. I
That's
think it's
part of it
gonna
for me.
have to
I
be.
didn't know how to do it before that. And I'm like, and I wasn't understanding Deepak in the very beginning, the Deepak meditations. I was like, I don't know what he's saying, but I'm going to keep doing it. And then something just
Mm.
happens naturally where
Mm,
the awareness just comes to you, and then you get it. It just clicks.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Amazing. It's so inspiring to hear. I know we're down to our last
I
little bit,
know.
but obviously this isn't the only time we're gonna have you on. Obviously,
Yes.
we're gonna have you on when all of your books sell and throughout the years, and so many more conversations to come. So thank you for
Mm.
joining us. We love you, obviously.
I love you.
And I'm so happy that now our listeners love you too.
I love you guys so much too. I hate that I don't have hearts that come out.
You'll have to update it so you can have the hearts. We love you so fucking much before it cuts us
Thank
off.
you
Thank you for joining us, sharing your beautiful,
both so
wise
much.
words. And yeah, we're cheering so hard for you and your journey.
Thank you. I love you both so much too. Thank you.
Yay!